Today, you're going to learn about one of the most notorious prisons in the United States, San Quentin. This is a place whose name sounds less like a location and more like a warning. For decades, it has held some of California's most dangerous and most talked about inmates, becoming a symbol of punishment, control, and survival. San Quentin is not about crime, glamour. It's about routine, pressure, and consequences. Every day follows strict rules, roll calls, constant supervision, limited movement, and almost no personal space. Inmates live in crowded cell blocks where knowing when to speak, when to stay silent, and how to read the atmosphere can mean the difference between safety and danger. This prison is also deeply connected to death row, where time itself becomes part of the punishment. Days stretch endlessly, hope fades, and the mental toll can be just as brutal as the physical confinement. In this episode, we'll explore how San Quentin really works, what daily life looks like inside its walls, and why this prison became one of the most feared in America. If you appreciate the effort, hit like, leave a comment with the next prison you want to hear about. And now, let's go. San Quentin Prison is located in the state of California, on the shore of San Francisco Bay. This place is known not only for its location, but also for the fact that for more than a century and a half, it has become a symbol of the American punishment system. San Quentin is considered the oldest prison in California, and its history began long before modern concepts of human rights, rehabilitation, and humane treatment of inmates existed. The idea of building the prison emerged during the gold rush, when California's population grew rapidly and crime levels increased so dramatically that existing detention facilities could no longer cope. In those years, criminals were often held on old ships anchored in the bay, which was inconvenient, dangerous, and expensive. State authorities decided to build a permanent prison on land, away from major cities, but close enough to maintain control. In 1852, the state of California purchased a plot of land in the area of Cape San Quentin. Construction was carried out mainly by the inmates themselves. By 1854, the main cell blocks and buildings were completed, and the prison began operating as a full institution. From the very beginning, San Quentin was designed not as a place of rehabilitation, but as a tool of isolation and punishment. During its first decades, the prison was managed by private contractors. The state transferred control over inmates to individuals who were allowed to use their labor and enforce internal order. This quickly led to abuse. Savings on food, medical care, and living conditions were combined with harsh discipline built on fear and pain. Inmates were punished with flogging, isolation, and so-called water treatments, where a person was restrained and sprayed with cold water under pressure. Officially, this was called discipline, but in reality, it was a form of violence and humiliation. Living conditions in the early years were harsh. Cells were cramped and poorly ventilated, and sanitation was primitive. Diseases spread quickly, and medical care was minimal. Escapes occurred regularly, which only intensified the strictness of the regime. Over time, state authorities realized that the private prison management model was not working, and control was transferred to the government. One of the darkest chapters in San Quentin's history is its connection to the death penalty. By the late 19th century, the prison became the primary site for executions in California. Initially, executions were carried out by hanging. The condemned were taken to a specially prepared area, where the sentence was carried out publicly or in the presence of officials. These procedures were brutal and often involved mistakes, causing death to come slowly rather than instantly. Later, the state transitioned to the use of the gas chamber. One of the most infamous gas chambers in the country was installed at San Quentin. It was believed to be a more humane method, but in practice, the process was agonizing and prolonged. The condemned person inhaled poisonous gas, suffering intense physical and psychological pain. The gas chamber became a symbol of an era in which the state attempted to give death a technical and procedural form. For decades, San Quentin was associated with death row. Inmates awaiting execution lived in isolation, spending years suspended between life and death. Some waited for decades as they went through endless appeals and legal processes. At one point, executions in California were halted, but the prison itself remained permanently linked to the death penalty in the public consciousness. The internal structure of San Quentin has always been based on a strict hierarchy. On one side stood the official system: guards, officers, administrators, medical staff, chaplains, and support services. On the other side existed the informal inmate world, with its own rules, groups, status systems, and unwritten laws. These two worlds constantly collided, creating tension that could erupt into violence at any moment. Throughout the 20th century, the prison experienced numerous incidents, riots, and escape attempts. Some of these events resulted in deaths and led to major changes in security measures. These moments reinforced San Quentin's reputation as one of the most dangerous and tense correctional facilities in the country. Daily life for an inmate at San Quentin follows a strict schedule. The day begins early with wake-up and the first count. Inmates are counted, cells are inspected, and breakfast follows. Everything happens on schedule, and any deviation can lead to punishment. Personal space is minimal, and constant supervision creates the feeling of being watched every second. During the day, some inmates are assigned to work. Historically, labor has been an essential part of prison life. Inmates worked in kitchens, laundries, workshops, cleaning crews, and maintenance roles. For many, this was the only way to stay occupied and escape the monotony, even briefly. Others participated in educational programs, visited the library, or attended religious services. Recreation and exercise take place at strictly scheduled times and under guard supervision. These moments are considered both necessary and dangerous, as conflicts between different groups most often arise there. A single look, word, or gesture can lead to a fight or more serious consequences. In the evening, dinner is followed by another count and cell lockdown. Nights in prison are rarely quiet. Some inmates shout, others bang on doors, some pray or talk to themselves. For many, nighttime becomes the hardest period, when thoughts of freedom, family, and lost years prevent sleep. Psychological pressure at San Quentin has always been immense. For many, the real punishment was not the walls and bars, but the endless repetition of the same days, the same corridors, the same sounds, the same rules. Over time, this breaks even the strongest individuals. San Quentin became a symbol not only because of its history, but because it embodied all extremes of the prison system: brutal punishments of the past, the death penalty, violence, reform attempts, and endless debates about justice. It is a place where state power, human fate, and fear merged into one long, heavy story. Over the decades, the prison changed in appearance, modernized, and introduced new rules and programs, but its core remained the same. San Quentin has always been a place where a person confronts the system face to face, without illusions or excuses. Many who walked out of its gates said the same thing: survival is possible, but leaving unchanged is not. That is why the name San Quentin still sends a chill, even through those who have never been connected to the criminal world. It is not just a prison. It is a symbol of eras, mistakes, brutality, and attempts to control human life.